Resident Evil 4.
Hello there, Surfrim17 once again. This is my Resident Evil 4 No Damage Professional run. This is part 2 of Chapter 1-2. This is another tricky-ish area. Because of bear traps, I knew they were there and for some reason they kept tricking me up, which is annoying because it's quite a long sequence. The checkpoint is quite a lengthy one if you mess up, and you're going to get rushed by people with pitchforks, people that can throw stuff. It's one of those interesting ensembles of enemies, and this is it right here. There's that guy there. I get a super lucky headshot on him. And what I've not explained here, folks, is when I say lucky, I don't mean I was lucky to land the shot. It's when he pops his head. There's a critify... that's not even... wow, just English language said no today. I just combined critical modifier into critifier. You know, I'm creating my own language here, folks. You're pioneering language with me. Now, the critical modifier stat applies to headshots on this game and criticals. Duh. So, how it works is there is a percentage of chance that you're going to get a critical, much like the dice rolls in an RNG game, like an RPG. And sometimes you'll get those instant kill headshot shots, other times you won't. You'll just make him stagger and what have you. And you can upgrade some weapons' capacity to do criticals, I think. I might be wrong here, guys. I know you can do it on Resident Evil 5, and unfortunately my mind is a little bit cloudy on Resi 5, but I believe you may be able to, with certain weapons, increase like a special bonus on it, which gives it an increased capacity for criticals. Not all of them, though. But all you need to know is that if you know where the weak spot is on an enemy, there is a percentage of chance you can do a lot more damage than you would normally, and it's very empowering to do so. But one thing I'm noticing while I'm recording this commentary, this is the area that's kind of tricky. They're going to throw dynamite. If you can hit it, you can get them all in one shot. Like, that's the kind of game design that makes me truly love the old days when Capcom was great, you know? And the sad part is everybody who was involved in this and all the games that came out in this era are now no longer at Capcom. So we still have this warm feeling, unless you're like a fighting game fan, because they've already, you know, destroyed all the charity that you could afford them and all the goodwill that they built up over the years. Duh. That's funny. But like, Capcom now just aren't the same company, and we were expecting the same level of quality and just awesome games. And when was the last time they delivered? Like, I can't remember. And it's really sad because they used to be these giants, and they've been usurped by companies who couldn't even stand in their shadow back when they had this creative team and these sets of creative teams that, you know, what really wanted to make great games. Even if they were franchises, they still, you know, differentiated them enough for them to truly be great. And it's kind of sad, but just watching this and recording this commentary reminds me just how easy and how natural commentaries can be. Like, if you're recording a game that you think is easy, that a lot of the stuff you're doing in it is responding, reacting, reflex-based stuff, because there's no real, you know, meticulous way to approach something, because you don't have to, because the game isn't that level of difficulty, then it's really challenging to talk over, because there's nothing to say. And always in the back of your mind, you know, there's a handful of people that watch the channel to listen to you speak, and they want to hear you talk about different stuff, like films, you know, like music, like funny shit that you've seen, like anything, you know, gaming news, any kind of other tangent possible. But at the same time, you've got another, you know, populace who don't like that, who want you to talk nothing but strategy. They want you to talk about, you know, just games, or in some parts, just the game you're playing. Like, they hate people who talk about anything but what's happening on the screen, and you can never please everybody, so you've just kind of got to, you know, fashion your own style. And my style has always been to, you know, share the information I think you need to know, share the observations I think are worth saying, and then for the most, just kind of fill the blanks with whatever comes to my mind, because I don't script these, you know. I don't think you can script good commentary. I think you can script good voiceover, but you'll always be able to tell it's scripted because it sounds too good. You know, unless you're a really shitty reader or a shitty narrator, which that does happen. But down here there are these fish, the bass dudes, and they're very big in your inventory, but they're also a free heal. And I'm thinking maybe they're worth a lot of money. So instead of just skipping them, because I'm not going to be using healing items, I wanted to get them, and it proved to be more challenging than it was probably worth. But it's moments like this that make me really appreciate this game, where they can have just this perfectly designed combat for what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, compare it to like a Gears of War when it comes to ease of use and fluidity. It probably doesn't seem as impressive because it's clunky, you know, it's very mechanically, it's not natural. But for what it is, for the Resident Evil tank control kind of gameplay, it just works exactly how they wanted it to. And it's perfect in that regard. Like, objectively, regardless of if you like it or if you think it's dated, for what it is and what it achieves, it works perfectly. You know, considering you don't have a camera control in a game like this, that just sounds baffling. And it is baffling at first, but you get used to it. Because you didn't have camera controls for a lot of games, you know, before this one. There were some that did it, there were others that just let the camera do its own thing, because that's how games were developed, and that's just how things always had been. So it does that flawlessly, but at the same time, it has these ridiculous moments where you can kill birds and they drop massive glowing piles of gold that they couldn't feasibly carry, and fish that you can stab that are completely pointless and are tiny when you see them in the water, but then when you get them in your inventory, they're the size of a small car. Like, just this juxtaposition of goofiness and awesomeness. And it's what made Capcom truly special. And unfortunately, I don't know if they started believing their own bullshit. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because the people that were there were the really serious ones and all the ones who like to have fun have kind of left. But the games just do not have the charm or the character anymore that they used to have. And Resident Evil's a fantastic example. First Resident Evil is such a good game. I've got something in my teeth, I do apologise, guys. No idea what the fuck that was. Jesus, like a piece of grit. And Resident Evil 2, another fantastic game. Resident Evil 3 was weaker because it was a lot more action focused, and it was just, I mean, you started with like a machine gun, and to me it just immediately threw out the tone for the entire thing. Even though Nemesis was a fantastic idea, I just don't think that game was as good. But still, miles better than the most recent stuff. And then just look at 6. Compare 1 to 5 to 6. You can't do it. You just can't. Because it's just... Oh! It's reminding me of how much I hate 6. And there are people that like that game, which reminds me that, you know, this planet really does have something for everyone. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.